30 years ago, it was the big game hunters. Mike Dodd and Tim Hovland taking home victory in Chicago during the inaugural Chicago Open. 30 years later, our stadium court is playing host to the best beach volleyball players on the planet. Welcome back to Chicago. Welcome back to Stadium. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn as we once again have the men feature on our stadium court. It's Alison, Cerutti, and Cory alongside Rich Lamborn. I'm Kevin Barnett. They're going to be facing off with Theo Brunner and Trevor Crabb, who have already played once on Stadium. This is an interesting matchup at the net.
It certainly is. Alison, one of the best blockers in the world for a long time, Olympic gold medalist, has brought his talents to the shores of Lake Michigan, as it were, here with Cory. But we also know about his counterpart, Theo Brunner, and what an imposing force he can be as well. It'll be interesting to see which one of those guys gets the most traction there at the net.
What do you think wins it for one or the other in terms of that battle at the net?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to ultimately be what happens behind them, right? Like, they're going to look to impose their will, but it's always kind of a symbiotic relationship on that defense, right? So who's going to step up big behind him? Is it going to be Evan behind big Alison, the mammoth? Or is it going to be Trevor Crabb? We know he loves this spot, looking for 3 in a row here on these sands. So that'll be the difference maker, I think.
Not necessarily stuffs gotten, but maybe space taken. As people find their spot in the stands, Mark Sherman has found his spot for introductions.
And let's meet the teams who are playing to make it into the final round of the winners bracket, ladies and gentlemen. This first guy coming out of Lincoln Memorial University in Tennessee and Metairie, Louisiana. Man, Louisiana representing on the AVP. Ladies and gentlemen, he has got the most protected nose on tour. He is Evan Cory. And his partner, yes, ladies and gentlemen, out of Vitória, Brazil, now here in the USA. He is a 3-time Olympian and Olympic silver and gold medalist. He is the mammoth, Mute Alison. And their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, out of right here in the USA, looking to go back-to-back here in Chicago. We're going to start with the guy out of Honolulu, Hawaii, the AVP's bad boy. You love to love him. You love to hate him. You love to watch him, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear it for Trevor Crabb. And his partner out of Richfield. Oh man, he's got some family in the house today out of Madison, Wisconsin. Ah, yes, I love it. You love to love. Nobody loves to hate you. Everybody loves to love you. Okay, Theo, that's just your partner. Don't worry, not you though. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for Theo Brunner.
There's the family of Theo Brunner. I wonder how you can tell that they're together. Love it when people make shirts and come on out and support their favorite player, whether you're related or not.
Going with subtlety, the Theo Brunner fans this weekend.
I love it. We used to have Betsy's Bunch out here, right?
M's Entourage was a big one.
Yeah, I love it. The more fandom, the better. Come on out and join us here in Chicago as Evan Cory, the newly engaged Evan Cory, as he popped the question with Savvy Simo, gets us underway. Haven't really had these guys on Stadium. I'm looking forward to this one. And it's an ace serve to get us started from the lefty.
Best possible start.
We've gotten a little more cloud cover, and the wind has abated a bit for the moment. It's not quite as stiff as it was, but it would be blowing into the face of Evan Cory.
Just a moment, Googling abated. Okay, let up a little bit. Got it.
Get out your thesaurus. Evan Cory, I'll tell you what, UCLA and LMU marriages are not uncommon in Los Angeles. But Evan Cory did go to LMU, just not the one you're thinking of. Lincoln Memorial University. UCLA being the Savvy Simo side of things. That roll shot does find the sand just in front of Trevor Crabb.
Now, you told me that wasn't him just peppering with the Lincoln Memorial in downtown D.C.
No, there's a little more to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Alison, Cerutti, a legend out of Brazil, Vitória, Brazil. He drops here. Retreating dig made. Gets the angle call. He'll take up the angle, but the line cannot be dug with Trevor Crabb.
Yeah, it's so interesting to watch these guys block. Alison's a little bit of a kind of what I would call an old school blocker. He just is a little bit more static. He's so big up there, though, that he just kind of starts wide with his hands, takes up so much space, does a little bit less of the kind of hide, show and take stuff that we see in the more modern game, but he's so very effective. His reads are so good that he's obviously very, very imposing.
Alison now 38 years old, but still 6'8", as it turns out. Not shrinking. The gold medalist in Rio, silver medal in London.
You kind of talked in our last match about how Brandy Wilkerson is so athletic and plays so big. You think of her as taller than her 5'10". Oh, there's a big block from Theo. I almost feel like Alison is such a massive human being and so kind of well proportioned at 6'8" that he seems not that big until you walk by him and you go, good Lord, that's a giant human being.
Right, exactly, yeah. It's a large mammal. All right, they'll work on Cory. Interesting plan to go and work on Evan Cory. Good touch from Theo. And that ball put away by his partner along with a little gusto from Trevor Crabb.
There's always a little bit of a verbal exclamation point from Trevor Crabb. This is a tremendous play from Theo. You see the handwork, goes and finds it. And then that's really a piece of Theo's game that has gotten so good over the years that has contributed to their great success as a team, is that transition setting.
Going to Cory again, and he gives it back. They're coming off a victory against Team TNT. That'd be Tim Bockert and Troy Field. It was 21-17, 21-23, and then 15-7. And in that third stanza, Evan Cory was 5 of 6. Hit 800, and for the match, he hit 682. So interesting plan to go after the, so far, hot hand. There's a little drop. Where is Nick Lucena? I just saw him here, and then his shot was utilized.
Yeah, that's so very good. I mean, you know, we talk a lot about the line shots of Trevor Crabb and how many varieties he has. So important to be able to vary the depth of your shots, the pace of your shots. It'll be interesting, going back a couple plays, we saw Trevor tee off on one in transition. Evan Cory immediately bounced one and then said, that's how you do it. I'm not so sure you want to involve yourself in chirping back and forth with Trevor Crabb. That's his game. I think a lot of people like to think that that's their game as well. And very few of those people are correct.
I was talking to somebody this morning, and he was recapping some of his opinions on the Olympic Games and said that maybe the U.S. shouldn't have awakened Wilfredo Leon on the indoor side. That being a point of discussion. Do you want to wake the beast?
Or the mammoth?
You don't want to wake the mammoth, that's for sure. You don't want to take a tusk to the side. A goring. You don't want a solid goring out here on Stadium.
Right, I'm like the variety of vocabulary we're getting from you today, Kevin. A bait, goring.
We'll see where it goes. Now they're on to Trevor, and he will light one up once again. Still, my favorite match of the year in terms of offense was our final in Huntington on the men's side. Sean Cook bouncing balls, Taylor and Taylor responding in kind.
Yeah.
Cody Caldwell, the other part of that. The Chicago tie-in there, the Loyola Star. That pairing here again survived their early match this morning. Theo gets a hold of that one. 8-6.
And that's just a tremendous move. He kind of bodies up Cory and then he hikes those arms over into the line. Here's another look.
Well, you're talking about how static Alison stays. That's not Theo's game right now.
No, Theo does a lot of the more kind of modern hands big outside his body moves. I mean, he gets the whole gamut, but there's another look. You can see him really kind of pressing back into that line shot of Alison, or that line swing rather. Yeah, look at the work outside. Yeah, that lateral jump and then the big arm movement.
Tremendous work by our crew catching that from behind, seeing the view of Theo making that big move that was successful, drove him to a 9-6 advantage. That error goes 9-7. If you were with us earlier today, you saw Theo Brunner and Trevor Crabb come up with a victory, 21-14, 21-11 over Ierna and Perez. That cut shot is good. That ball straight down the middle is a winner.
I think it was just a little bit long. Had the open sand, but just missed the end line, I think, did Alison on that one.
Yeah, that will go 11-7 now, so make sure the ball is clean and ready.
Really good short serve from Trevor Crabb. Set up those proceedings.
He'll go to the middle. Off balance, Alison can't get it over Trevor, but the ball is long. Was that a deliberate attempt on one?
I think he was just trying to swing as hard as he could because it was going to be at the end of his fingertips. He thought got a little more palm than I think he was expecting on that. Trevor and Theo are such an interesting team to me because when we talk about the blocking prowess of Theo, we talk about the offensive capabilities of Trevor. But they don't really do much of anything to overpower teams. From an offensive standpoint, Trevor slices and dices. You know, he can bring a little bit of heat, but compared to like a Cory or an Alison, neither he nor Theo are thumping balls. But then, you know, all of a sudden you look up and you're behind a few points. They just kind of are relentless in their game, and it kind of shows that you don't have to, you know, bludgeon people. You can just be consistent, do what you do well, and do it at a high level, and do it over time, and you can be successful.
Those things are happening here in the first set. 12-9, Brunner and Crabb. I'm Kevin Barnett. You're listening to Rich Lamborn, Olympic gold medalist and longtime beach coach.
And you, producer Kelly.
Break it down for you as this team looks calm, collected, and successful as they were in their first opportunity on Stadium Court earlier today. We're all tracking towards the league in 2 weeks' time. Win here and you are qualified for the league. Trevor Crabb and Theo Brunner already won Manhattan Beach 2 weeks ago, so they are in.
The whole Crabb family will be in the league.
Now, who else will be there? That will be determined by points. Cody Caldwell, Sean Cook looking good. Billy Allen, Paul Lotman also with a pretty solid opportunity. But there's a lot to be determined yet as to who goes into this league schedule. September 14, 15 will be in Los Angeles for our very first event. Then we'll be headed on to Miami, San Diego, and the beyond until we return to Los Angeles in early November for the league championship. Looking forward to that. Teams, one male, one female, will split off into their cities. The Palm Beach Passion, the New York Nitro. You can see all the names there spread along our stadium court. A new day has dawned for the AVP. That ball too tight to the net. Theo with more defense. That's how he ended his last match. Joust. Retracted and then hit off the hands. Brunner with the point.
We talked about the showdown at the net, Kevin. We didn't expect that it was going to come in joust form necessarily between the two big men.
That was almost perfect, where everyone held on to the same moment and the ball dropped right on the cable.
Yeah.
Tough serve, pop back over. Trevor will have to scramble to get back up. Nobody up. And that shot's wide.
And Trev misses that, but that's another, just kind of going back to what this team of Brunner and Crabb does so well. I think that serve of Trevor Crabb, it's not visually stunning, right? He's not out there whacking jump serves or whatever, but he's so clinical with his float serve. We saw the short one to Alison. He sends darts to the middle, that one to the sideline that induces the overpass. He's just so very tactical in his approach.
The tactics that time benefiting Alison. the two-time Olympic medalist with the block, still plying his trade now here in America. Longtime participant on the FIVB. Alongside that Olympic success, also playing on the Brazilian National Beach Tour. He'll swat that one back. Trevor underneath it. This time, Crabb takes a full swing and puts it away.
Yeah, and that's a couple really good sort of coverage plays from Crabb and Brunner. Alison, good heads up swatting. Theo and Trevor equal to the task.
Theo goes jump serve at Alison. Oh, tied to the net, and who is into the net? A little discussion between our referees. I saw indications almost both ways.
Guys, just a sec. Thank you. I think we have Evan and then Kane points it. Sounds good. Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you. Net here first.
Our referee Renee says a net here first. So as soon as one player nets, the play is over, and it will be point to Brunner and Crabb.
Can't triple stamp, double stamp, Kevin.
True words. Well, and you can't drag the net into your opponent.
Right.
Another scramble play from Trevor. But he can't scramble his way out of that one. Cory skies over the top.
And really am enjoying this defensive effort right now from Crabb and Brunner. That play doesn't go their way. Good heads up. Kind of Kong block. He's making that a little bit of his signature move. Evan Cory, if you've seen some of his highlights, likes to throw out the big single arm lefty.
Evan Cory had a very strong 6'3". Strong to very strong through the trunk.
Strong to very strong through the trunk. I like that.
Short serve again, doing work. Ace, count it for Cory. 15-13. Boy, Alison and Cory are creeping in this one.
Short to very short on that serve, Kevin.
There you go. You know what I'm saying. You got to strike when the iron's hot.
Winner goes to the final round of the winner's bracket.
I wonder if Evan and Savvy will get married under a chuppah. To continue the movie reference, if you were catching it.
Yes.
Alison, hard angle.
Yeah, that's kind of his go-to shot. He's one of those guys, I think, that is kind of the poster boy for finding what you do well and, you know, kind of doing it extremely well, so to speak. Not necessarily super multifaceted, but he received the ball well. He could just absolutely crush hard angle. I mean, and all kinds of angles in that cross court that made you have to try and figure out a way to beat it. And then, of course, his blocking prowess.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to 10+ years ago watching him hit that exact shot. It's an excellent point. That ball deliberately popped back over. You can do that in emoji form if you want.
That's right. Prayer hands going over to the corner.
18-14 timeout called off of this play.
Our amazing intern Cat is up there looking for contestants. It is time for the Gooder musical.
So Theo, Brunner, and Trevor Crabb hitting .429 in this one and really limiting Alison, who was just with that last kill we had moments ago, into positive territory.
5 good friends. Listen, buddy, it's not my fault you don't have any friends. It's okay. I need 5 people.
The hard driving angle ball or hard
We all know each other. I don't care if we're old, if we're young, girls,
sometimes
guys.
attack is a good option. Yeah, the game is going to be very patient.
I hear a young man yelling at me. I feel like somewhere.
Our stadium court will continue rolling. 2 and 3 p.m. matches. We go back to the women's side of the game. DeBerg and Harward against Cheng and Hughes. That's more winners bracket action. Clothen Nuss against Simo and Van Winkle. The other half of the Simo and Cory nuptials impending.
Intern Cat, you got about 3
And then we have a
points.
very
Let's go.
busy Saturday planned for you. 10 matches coming up on Stadium Court. We'll get all the way to our semifinals. 3 courts in action right now here in Chicago. Cory, right side with an hi-ya and a hot pocket.
That's a hot.
I like that little insight from their coach Pompilio in the box with Cory and Alison, saying it's going to be a patient game out there. We can't press. We just got to kind of do our thing.
19-15.
Be patient.
This does have kind of a flat rhythm to it, this whole first set.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the game that Theo and Trevor play, right? They're a little bit Iceman-ish.
We've been waiting for the bass drop forever. There's a little bit of bass from Evan Cory.
Oh, but I mean, you know, I like that reference because, A, I love the movie Top Gun, but, you know, that's the way they fly, ice cold, no mistakes. They just kind of wear you down until you do something stupid, and then they've got you, right? And that's kind of the approach. You obviously know about the brashness of Trevor Crabb, but Theo's a guy that just kind of quietly goes about his business. Almost to his detriment at times, right? Like sometimes there's almost a lack of fire or a perceived lack of fire anyways.
Tom Kazansky to serve for the set.
Just a walk in the park. Kazansky.
Future Admiral at the line. Here we go. Wide right. Second opportunity to close this first set. Another efficient performance from our top seed. A lot of service been going to Theo early. This will be Theo short. And Alison got a hold of enough of it. There's a point. 2018.
Yeah, there's a look at that move from Alison. Just kind of gets right on the body of Theo. Gets that right arm into that line swing attempt. Gets the block.
Right back to Theo. This time a little wider. Another block from Alison. Can he get a third? No, he cannot, and our first set is over.
Yeah, those are frustrating because Alison does everything right on that first blocking move, but it just kind of goes softly back into Theo's lap. Excuse me, the neon yellow fan contingent thrilled. That result in the first set.
All the family in, they're excited. 21-18 in that first set. And we have some more competition happening at On Stadium.
Becky, here we go. Musical chairs brought to you by Gooder. We all know how this works.
So let's give it to Mark Sherman for some musical chairs here at DJ Rouchet. This is DJ Rouchet's favorite part of the day.
Oh, yeah, just as a primer, watch for him to pump fake everyone as we get down to the latter stages of this competition.
4 contestants and 3 chairs.
Is Mark Sherman the official referee for this? Are there really any rules? We've seen people run away with the seats. In fact, we had to order new seats after Manhattan because somebody popped one.
Is he a referee, maybe more of an arbitrator?
Arbitration, yeah. There's the pump fake. There's it
And it's, once you start falling into the chair, there's no recovering. You just got to go all the way down and get back up.
There it is.
Oh, you better fight for that chair.
The gal in black lucked out there because
Yeah, I don't think this one's going to go very well.
Over.
Jean shorts in the sand.
Very nice. Very nicely done. Our final 2. Yeah, she's fine. Don't worry about it. Here we go.
Sportsmanship still present here at the AVP.
that will, no doubt, that confrontation will rear its ugly head again later tonight over some Chardonnay. Pump fake number 1.
For the win, ladies and gentlemen, your champion of Gooder Musical Chairs. Great job, young lady. Yes, very nice. Great job, intern cat. Great contestant.
You definitely want to come join us at an AVP. Maybe you'll find yourself on Stadium Court in one of our fun competitions with our arbitration guidance here from Mark Schneider. I'm sorry. Mark Schneider, that would be a friend of mine. Wrong Mark. All right, set 2, we're ready to go. It was efficient, cool, calm, and collected from Crabb and Brunner. What changes that around, Rich Lamborn, in the second set here for Alison and Cory? As we look at the offensive numbers through 1.
Yeah, I think, you know, it always, for me, starts from the service line. If they can get a little bit more pressure on Theo and Trevor. They tried to go with some short serves. I always tended to think, when I was coaching, that Theo was almost better on the short serve. He has a middle blocking background, that short, like 2-step drop approach.
Okay.
I always felt that he was very good in those circumstances, so we kind of like to favor deep serves to him, make his approach a bit longer. If you can go service ace to the short sideline, nothing wrong with that, though.
Yeah, as long as he can't handle it, you're in good shape. Evan Cory showing that variety from the service line. Picks up another ace. That is his 3rd of this match. That's been a strong point for Evan. Right back to the short, this time to the middle. That one is chipped back across by Theo Brunner. One-time star at UC Santa Barbara in that middle blocking position, longtime pro.
Yeah, in our last match, you talked about kind of the static elevation capabilities of Brandy Wilkerson. I think Theo Brunner is very similar in that regard. His ability to just kind of explode with little to no approach is pretty unparalleled.
There's a block right behind Alison and right on the line. Theo tucked that one with his hands.
Yeah, this is a great bit of handwork. Yeah, you can see him kind of finish that back towards the court, and then that's what's known as the attacker's prayer that Alison was offering up.
That prayer originally written in 1071.
That's the
on a Sanskrit tablet that was discovered in a sea salt cave.
Okay, I thought that was part of the Council of Nicaea.
That dig is good into the net, kept alive, popped over. And Trevor Crabb says no more. Tied at 3.
Great effort to keep that alive, but you end up pretty far out of position when you're making those scramble plays. As you can see, Trevor wisely going on 2, knowing that the defense had still yet to collect itself.
The offense and blocking solidly in the advantage of Brunner and Crabb in set number 1. And now they're picking up a little bit of service pressure. That ace is going to be number 1 for Brunner and Crabb. Trevor with it.
That might be the first time I've ever seen that out of Alison in all the years I've had the opportunity to watch him play. Usually rock solid in his serve receive game, which is why he's been, one of the many reasons, I should say, why he's been so successful over the years. It goes to the difficulty of Trevor Crabb's serve, perhaps.
Another short serve. Here's Cory with a good run up, and he will just bang it off the hands of Theo Brunner.
Yeah, always good to be aggressive. You got to make sure you're going at the upper part of Theo's block, if possible.
Oh, that one cut even into the space where Cory was.
What I like about Trevor's shots is the trajectory on them. Watch this. It never goes up, never gets loopy, and gives Evan a chance to get underneath it. It's just straight to the sand.
This time Alison chisels off the block once again.
That's a good addition to his game as well. We've seen the big heavy heat in the cross court. That ability to slap it line really makes him more well-rounded.
Yeah, 2-time world champion serves again to Theo. And can't quite reach that one. Battle of the big man won by Theo Brunner. Yeah, Alison Cerutti. Alison is just his Brazilian single name that you'll hear all the time.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the 2015 World Championship Finals, he and Bruno versus Reinder Numador, Christian Berenhorst, I'd go back and have a look at that. It was in Holland, so the whole entire Rotterdam stadium cheering for their boys, and it was down to the wire. Alison and Bruno coming up with that title, and then of course the Olympic Games gold medal in Rio the following year.
Right, that was 2015 in The Hague, 2011 in Rome, his other world title.
Oh, good.
That ball is good. Another efficient side out. 7-6. Teams playing quite even here in the second set.
I know The Hague, excuse me. There was 4 locations around Holland for the bulk of the tournament, and then it concluded in The Hague.
Well, they all look the same because they are filled with Dutch fans, everyone in orange. I remember the atmosphere for that one. It was outstanding. That one banged through, and this has turned into an offensive output here in the second set. This pairing of Alison and Cory won the Denver Open, and they won Wapaka. So they've had some good success in the contenders events leading into this Chicago Open. Alison with the stuff.
Yeah, and there he was. We get another look at that. Watch how big this move is. He just kind of sets up in the angle, presses big. Lets Trevor come to him.
Short serve, too short. 8-8 second set. They had a little run of a couple of points at the end of that first. Drag it closer, 21-18 to Alison and Cory. They went 3 earlier. Can they do it again? This time on the defensive, coming out of a first set loss. Option taken and executed.
And that's a nice high swing from Evan Cory on a ball that's going to get pretty tight. He's able to intercept it. The quality of short serving we're seeing from both teams in this match is pretty unbelievable.
So do you set up with short now and then see if you can drive one later, or do you stick with it?
Well, I think that's one of the things, kind of going back to the serving of Trevor Crabb, that he does well. He drops those short serves in, but then he sends those darts either sideline or middle. Really, yeah, the short serve isn't all that effective if the other team is expecting it, right? If you can mix it in.
Mixing in a little power there was Alison. This time they'll go short once again. Crabb backs up, puts it away underneath the block of Alison. 10-10. Technical timeout in the offing in this very even second set, and overall fairly even match. It was kind of an early break that Brunner and Crabb took to take that first set. Trevor going to the middle. Soft knuckles are good for Evan Cory.
And you hear the muted thank you from Alison in the background there.
Alison and Cory look to push it to our first third set.
Technical timeout, 11-10. The lead for the pair, trailing 1-0 in this Stadium Court winners bracket matchup. So we have our Stadium Court. We also have 2 outer courts with full action and streaming. Buttinger Evans back in action for their second match of the day. Again, Sean Cook and Cody Caldwell. You know, there's a good contingent cheering on Cody Caldwell here. Played at Loyola Chicago here downtown. This will be Cook on offense on the right side of your screen in the black shirt. Getting stopped once by Chase Buttinger, and twice. Oh, nearly running it down was Cook, going head into the barrier. Hopefully he's okay. Got Bauer and Rice, Rodriguez and Urango, and we recognize the guy who's in the booth or in the coaching box for Bauer and Rice.
Absolutely. Nick Lucena here in attendance, coaching those ladies. And what great insights. It's awesome how many pro athletes stay in the game of beach volleyball and kind of coach and pass on their expertise to the next generation.
Good look at the crowd filling in, people skipping work for the day to come on out and join us here at the Chicago Open. Look at the champions. Yeah, defending champs, Theo Brunner, Trevor Crabb. Trevor Crabb, this is another run. He's been running Manhattan. He's been running Chicago. He's been running the tour. That ball's long.
It is interesting how kind of the bulk of his wins have come in just a couple of locations. I think that win last couple weeks ago in Manhattan got him to 9 overall, 4 of which are at Manhattan, 2 of which are here. So that's a pretty good percentage.
Alison's just been murdering the angle.
With authority, Alison Cerutti.
Alison, the angle has been gored. You can stop hitting it with your tusk and your trunk. A little check down. Didn't see Evan Cory there. He can't handle it. It was right at him.
Yeah, that's one of those ones you always wish you had back, where you made the right read and then somehow you almost get surprised that it comes right in your lap.
All right, the Louisiana native may now be asked to side out. Indeed, he sees the serve down the line. Here comes lefty. With power through the hands. I heard some hands. Theo trying his best to wave that one off.
It's so interesting because Theo naturally is just such a good sportsman, and I think in his nature would always call that, but then he tries to sort of channel his inner Jake Gibb, where Jake was like, hey, listen, the referees are here for a purpose. It's not my job to call it, you know, which is absolutely the truth.
Well, interestingly, there are no challenges there. We don't have 1,000-frame cameras up at the net as they did at the Olympic Games, where you may as well just go ahead and call your touch because you're going to get caught.
Right.
Out here, not the case. There are some sportsmanship concerns that could ruffle some feathers and cause some problems.
Yeah, if they would have had the Olympic cameras around Shaggy's house, his great song "It Wasn't Me" would have been just completely negated.
I thought in that video there was video footage, but that ball is rolled over the top and good. We stay even. What makes it a break here in this second set? We just kind of see back and forth play. Haven't seen anyone get away at all, even on a 2-point run.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen anybody really get too far out of system. I don't even know that this qualifies. Here's an opportunity for Cory. Yeah. And there he goes. So that was, we saw him kind of miss the exact same opportunity a play ago. Makes that one, right? So you've really got to capitalize on your opportunities. Of course, that's always important to do, but especially in a neck-and-neck game like this where they may be few and far between.
Two-time academic All-American put that one away. He left LMU career leader in kills, aces, digs, points, an outstanding offensive career, and now brought his defense to bear on the beach. And his blue nose.
Yeah, and bangs outside of the hat.
Well, if you're going to do that, Chicago's the place. It used to be popular here. Witness my high school photos. There's another swing, another ayah. And it's 16-14. They have enough if they side their way out. Something tells me it's not going to be enough against this other team here down the stretch. You're going to have to score a couple more. Theo from the middle. Short and good.
Now, Theo and Trevor haven't really been able to get too much traction defensively in this game. I tend to agree with you that it's only a matter of time, and that time may be coming shortly here.
Try and start with the serve. Cory will go backside to the left and cut it cross court. Again, no defense from Trevor. Rich, per your point, taking a look at Trevor's numbers. Looking at the digs, 5 digs, which actually is one more than the other side. Only 4 digs on the other side. This has not been a defensive match at all. Maybe somebody picks up a couple. Maybe it's defense at the net. Not this time.
A little wry smile from Alison there. Can't believe he let that one sneak by him.
Brunner and Crabb hitting 512. Alison and Cory hitting 487.
Yeah. That's one of those ones. Is it a great offensive match, poor defensive match, maybe a little bit of both?
You tell me.
Yeah, I would say it's been a really good offensive match.
Okay. Like in the angle, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not in love with that defensive positioning on that particular play from Trevor Crabb. He's kind of lined up with the corner. Alison, pretty good at not hitting that sort of JV angle, like Casey Patterson calls it, right to the corner. You gotta set up, I think, a little more in the angle and then play it towards the court, so to speak.
Play for the varsity angle?
Play for the varsity angle, especially out of the gold medalist. Ooh. That is a crisp little slap angle.
And that's not unusual for Trevor Crabb. I've gotten used to seeing that shot.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Watch him. He just holds his hand high, slaps it right to the sand. Yeah.
That's a great catch by you. It's all wrist.
Yeah. And anything softer than that, Cory was in full pursuit.
Cory picks up another kill, so they're maintaining the advantage they need. Just 2 more side outs will do it.
Yeah. And so this is, again, this is good offensive stuff from Cory and Alison, of course, but Trev, I think, needs to make a little bit of an adjustment defensively. Again, he's kind of in line with that corner, getting beaten to the sidelines.
Oh, net violation saves Theo.
Which is why Theo hit that ball out of bounds.
That would have been a huge break point. We would have been headed almost assuredly to a 3rd set. Here, Brunner and Crabb with an opportunity to tie it up. No wind at all right now. So we've gone through no wind to start, a fairly stiff breeze, and now we're back to nothing. Absolutely nothing. Angle is good, crossbody winner, and they are 1 away from sending us to 3. Are Alison and Cory. Set point.
Yeah, this is good stuff from the kid too. I mean, he's got one of the best blocks in the world in front of him, and he's just going around it with relative ease.
Yeah, 722 is a pretty good number, offensive efficiency wise. Gonna need some digs maybe in the 3rd set. Come up with a win. Now 2nd opportunity to close it out. That before a timeout from Brunner and Crabb. And Crabb's to strategize to pick up 1.
It'll be interesting to see what they come up with here.
I would like to throw stuff out of the crowd. Do we have things to throw out into the crowd? Junior producer Daniel on the move. Ready to get free stuff to throw out.
That's it. Just go a little more steam. Let's go to Alison, man.
I don't like that talk back, Junior producer Daniel.
We can sneak one in as we go into double hit.
Fill back up for me, Daniel.
So let's go.
I love that. All right. Free stuff coming soon.
Rich, what would you want the team to do right now? Where would you want to serve?
Well, it sounds like they're saying let's go at Alison, which I don't mind. I mean, Cory's been on quite a nice little run of late. You have to play for the hard angle swing from Alison. I would just like to see that happen. Trevor Crabb slide a little bit more to his left positioning wise and see if they can't come up with a scoop. And the subsequent delivery, Kevin.
Yeah, hitting a relative to this match, pedestrian 375, Alison. 13 kills on 24. Can he pick up another one and reset the score at 0 in a race to 15? Will be our first 3-setter of the day on Stadium. Set point. Alison, does he go angle? No, he just crushes it into the block and down. We will head to a 3rd set.
A little bit surprising there, but what's not surprising is that the Olympic gold medalist got it.
21-18, 19-21 has us headed to a 3rd and deciding set in what has been an incredibly offensive display.
How about a little magic, huh?
Yeah, baby, that is right. It is time. Ladies and gentlemen, I could not be happier to be right here, right now.
We're in Austin, Dallas, Texas. For San Diego.
Get involved and have a reaction out here.
You just saw 2 weeks' time. The league starts with the UCLA Tennis Center September 14th and 15th. For week number 1, we'll be back to Los Angeles. It'll be Dignity Health Sports Park for the conclusion, November 9-10. And that will be 9 straight weeks of top flight beach volleyball action. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn here for our first 3-setter. As the dig is finally made into the angle by Trevor Crabb. Can he convert? No, it's right to Cory. The lefty. Another dig. And a redirect at the net. Looked sort of like a set. Sort of like a redirect.
But it's so interesting because that's, you know, like we talk about, that's a kind of a hiccup in the rules that you can just sort of manhandle those balls that come over like that. Even to the point that all of these players know the rule and it's still got a second look from Theo up to the ref like, oh, that can't be legal, can it? And then you just resign yourself to the fact that it is.
I'd like to see players have to hit it, maybe. Do something with it.
Yeah, it's just weird that there's a suspension of the clean contact rule temporarily for that particular instance.
Well, the rules committee look at it, Rich, in the offseason. 1-1. And that offseason will not come until the middle of November. More angle heat. Would you start blocking it at some point?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good move. Certainly, you've got to do something differently. Trev's got to adjust that positioning, or you got to make one of those big moves into the angle. See if he sees it in time.
Short serve, making Trevor work. He goes into the angle himself. Sharp and sharper for 2-2.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good call. I would like to handle that at the net if possible if I'm Crabb and Brunner.
Cory also continues his offensive tear. Both players in that partnership looking strong offensively. And now their hitting percentage as a team climbing near 600.
He's flying high out here in the Chicago sands.
Looking for the deep corner, but going just long as Theo. A little too much push.
Interesting here.
So they've been serving short to Trevor quite a bit. This time they try Theo down the line. Right back to him, this time short. That time, Theo up to the tap.
That's that one I think he's just so good at with no approach, just elevating, going high off the top of the hands. Even of a block as big as Alison.
Option taken and put away. But you really get to look at the athleticism and the strength and power, body control of Evan Cory.
What'd you call his torso? Strong to stronger?
I believe it was trunk. Yes, strong to very strong.
Strong to very strong trunk.
Yeah, it was an issue when he tried to fit a ring box into his pants to propose to Savvy Simo. Yeah, he's not afraid to fill out a pair of shorts or pants, and he had it tucked into the back pocket, and then he sat on it and crushed the box. He was rather concerned about the ring. I don't know if, you know, a lot of volleyball players, I mean, academic All-American a couple times, but this just in, platinum diamonds pretty hard. Difficult to misshapen with your buttocks.
No matter where you fall on the strong to very strong spectrum.
Yes, yes. No matter how robust your trunk may be.
Yeah, again, kind of going with the same setup defensively are Brunner and Crabb, and it's not paying dividends as of yet.
Well, they're kind of giving him nowhere to go. If you look at the match statistics in terms of offense, Cory's hitting 727. Yeah, if you're hitting an aircraft, you're in pretty good shape. Alison hitting .429. So the numbers would say go at Alison, but I'm with you, Rich. You got to change up what you're doing at the net.
And I mean, you can even, I would even think you go as far as to do kind of a 5 setup, which is where the blocker just sets up way early in the angle. Trevor Crabb's just kind of standing, waiting on the line for the hit, and then running down anything over the top if he sees it.
This time they go to Cory short, got him off balance. Does not matter as he goes wrist away to the corner and drops a high yaw on him again. That's 6 high yaws.
In 6 swings, I think we're batting 1,000 on high yaws. Makes me think of super old school Manhattan Beach guy Billy D.
Oh, Billy Del Riego for sure. King of the ice shot. King at the net there is the Mammoth, and they extend the lead 8-5. Is it timeout time? Or do you just wait?
Coach Belly digs up. Maybe trying to get them to call a timeout, but none yet.
It'll have to come down. There's a block.
And so that Alison kind of showing that positioning I was talking about. Theo maybe ought to think about trying where he's in that angle early. Throws his hands quickly as the hit comes. Take a look. He's in the angle big. Yeah, just, I mean, barely got off the ground because he saw the pace that Trevor was coming in with.
We've talked before about not only the placement of the block, but the timing of it, how much that gets played with.
Yeah, we talked a little bit in our previous match. Coach Tyler Hildebrand, one of the things that he would teach is that the hands are the fastest part of that chain, that blocking chain, right? You want to get some depth on your block to try and hide a little bit. You want to let the attacker's hips pop, he would call it, right? Like you want to make them sort of commit themselves and then you go. But if at any point during that you see them speed up, you can throw your hands quickly, as we saw from Alison there. Doesn't even get off the ground, doesn't have time to get off the ground. But those things can be thrown in a hurry and very effectively, like we saw.
Future dinosaur champion Jake Gibb definitely going to play with his son at some point in that tournament. If you don't know what the dino is, you should look it up. It's held in Hawaii each year, where they have different categories now, but at the very least, the ages of the 2 partners have to equal at least 80.
We're going to have to do the math on that because Jake's right around 48, I believe. Crosby only 13, I think, maybe less.
It's going to be a bit. Jake's going to have to hang on. Right now it's the Mammoth who is dominating the airspace up above the cable. He picks up yet another block, and they've doubled up here in the third on Brunner and Crabb. This is what they did in the previous match, but they had won the first, lost the second time, but they dominated the third 15-7.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, we talked about the blocking prowess of the big Mammoth up there. Sometimes elite blockers, they get kind of a read on you, and then you're in all kinds of trouble.
Here's Cory with the dig. He's had a lot of offense. Did he get a touch? No, that's wide left.
That's a big one. Let's kind of earmark that in the back of our minds if Trevor and Theo are able to get 1 or 2 here, because 11-5 and it's a done deal. 10-6. Trevor and Theo still feel like maybe they can climb back in if they can get 1 or 2.
Winner here will move on to Saturday. Stay in the winner's bracket, and that's more angle attack from the Woolly Mammoth.
One of my favorite little idiosyncrasies, I don't know if we're going to get a good shot of it, is anything, no matter what's happening on the side of the Mammoth, he's always giving you the, here we go, one more, you know, kind of the churning, let's keep rolling forward hand gesture.
Trevor Crabb had the street there and drove right down it. Opportunity here. Can Crabb get out of the sand and terminate? Ball was too tight. Better chance now. Nobody. Put it away.
I think Cory kind of looked at up ref Renee as if to say, didn't I get that first? Was that maybe 4 contacts on the side of Brunner and Crabb? But I think determined rightly that it was a joust, simultaneous.
Same serve. Ball set to the outside, and is it wide? Yes, it is. And Theo says, I did not touch it. Alison disagrees. Doesn't matter. No cameras. Moving on.
So here we are. Remember that play that would have put it at 11-5, Cory and Alison. Now we're switching 11-9, and Brunner and Crabb well within striking distance here, set number 3.
Yeah, timeout called. So 11-9. Go to the boxes. See if we can listen in.
Turn one. Let's make them squeeze just a little bit. Let's turn one more. Yeah, it needs to be here. The next one. Let's try to turn one. Keep tightening out. We didn't turn 2 reels, boys. Hit. Trevor received the last 3 balls, side out the last 2 swing. Middle fast or short field. Work. But first side out, okay?
Fans enjoying the atmosphere here in Chicago. Come on out. VIP, AVP 360. General admission stands. You too can join the Theo fan club. Just get yourself a neon shirt. Blend in.
They might sub in with our volunteers down there on the court. Different yellows, perhaps, but.
Here we go. No more timeouts.
Here we go. 11-9. The run recently has been Brunner and Crabb. Do they go after Cory again? They've been down that middle. Indeed, they do. Go right at Alison. Yes! Almost had it.
Yeah, but I like that they are making a little bit of an adjustment. You can see Theo trying to block. I mean, they're almost doubling up on the angle, right? Watch Theo drop his left hand in here. And Trevor in the angle as well.
Need this side out. And they get it. So both teams kind of serve in the middle. Alison's been picking up the majority of the offensive work in this particular set.
Yeah, that has kind of a dual purpose, right? It causes maybe just a moment of confusion as to whose ball it's going to be, but then it also makes it more difficult for Alison to get wide and get that angular approach.
Alison with the save. Trevor with an opportunity and hits it off the retreating Cory. 12-11. Rich, that moment continues to loom large. What would have been 11-5, that opportunity has evaporated into a 6-point run.
And things start to get a little nervous on the side of Alison and Cory.
Theo got a hold of it. Trevor with a run.
So that was interesting. I'm not sure if we'll get another look at this blocking move from Theo, but he kind of left a little bit of line, threw his hands outside his body to that line. Here we go. Have a look here. He's inside, but the hands work outside. It gets the soft touch off the hands, finds it. Great set to Trevor.
Coach Rich Lamborn, the gold medalist, identified at that critical moment. It's been 7-1 since that missed opportunity in transition. Make it 8-1. Trevor Crabb and the crowd.
As he told us all on social media, this is Shooter's Tour.
Not sure what Trevor Crabb eats for breakfast. 13-12, a complete reversal. Do they close it now? This time Cory takes it. Hasn't had a swing in a while. Theo gets a piece. Can he turn? Cory at the net. Alison in the backcourt. Alison in defense again. It's not enough. 14-12. The king of Chicago, Trevor Froman.
Trevor Froman, fantastic. Shooter's not about to let these guys come in here and win on Stadium Court in his city. And kept 14-12.
9-1 the run from that missed transition chance. Here it is, set and match point. Alison v. Theo. Theo wins it! 15-12.
On a 10-1 run, unbelievable stuff. Trevor and Theo, to the elation of the neon crowd.
That's a way to close your Friday. Go on a 10-1 run, have your blocker pick up a stuff, and celebrate with your neon peeps.
Yeah, it's crazy how you can be so dialed offensively as Cory was. One little mistake creeps in, and that's just enough. Open the door for your opponents as we look at the final stuffy from Theo. Again, that outside the body move to the line. You can see kind of how perfect that timing was. Makes Alison commit to that shot and goes and takes it away.
Theo really came alive. You were talking about elite blockers getting a bead on another team. That was a lot of what just occurred.
Well, yeah, you saw Cory and Alison develop that lead because Alison got a good beat on Trevor Crabb, got a few stuffs in there. Theo flipped it, did the same thing to the big mammoth.
In the first set, it was 21-18 and kind of a flat, non-momentum set. It was early points from Crabb and Brunner that ended up winning it for them. In the next set, it was even more even for a long time.
Even more even, Kevin.
That's true. That is a weird way to phrase it. And then that third set, which was decidedly a different story. The first, the run, and the doubling up, it was 10-5 for Cory and Alison. A missed transition swing from Evan Cory that would have put him up 11-5. Instead, a 10-1 run then develops. Theo gets a bead, makes some plays, some putaways from his partner. Back to back there, and then the defense at the net. Theo with the exclamation point and the victory on to Saturday.
Excellent, excellent stuff.
Smiles all around for those two gentlemen. They come in as defending champs and the #1 seed to Chicago. Beautiful look at the skyline. And our home for the next couple of days. Women's side of the courts takes stadium next. DeBerg, Harward, Cheng, Hughes. We'll be back for that one shortly on Valley Live. Thanks for being with us on the AVP.